And Putin's Latin American trip takes place amid criticism from the West about Russia's role in the Ukraine crisis. For more on this discussion, we're joined by William Courtney, and he's a former U.S. ambassador to Kazakhstan and Georgia, and of course an expert on Eurasia affairs. And thank you so much for coming into our studio. Is Russia looking for a friend right now, going over to Latin America?
Yes, since the sanctions started on Russia because of its aggression in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin flew to China, signed a huge gas deal that had been in the wings for a long period of time. China probably got favorable terms as a result. Now there's going to be a BRICS summit in Brazil right after the World Cup final. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this is a good opportunity for Putin to play on the world stage. President Obama once said that Russia was just a regional power. Putin wants to show it's still a global power.
So is he looking to, let's say, clean up his image a bit after what has been going on with Ukraine?
Yes, he is. He's visiting several countries in Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, as well as Cuba, of course, and he's been to Nicaragua, which have more leftist or socialist approaches. So he's looking for friendly faces, if you will, on the tour to help buttress his situation.
So you believe this is a deliberate attempt in light of the West coming really down on him hard?
I actually think he would have done this anyway because of the World Cup and the BRICS summit. He would have visited some friendly countries. But this is an opportune moment for him because the West may slap bigger sanctions on Russia if Russia doesn't stop supplying arms to the separatists in eastern Ukraine.
$35 billion of debt. Is that overly generous?
No, because the debt was never collectible in the first place.
Okay.
Cuba was never able to pay for it. They've forgiven 90%. The other 10% is actually going to be invested in Cuba. So really, they've forgiven 100% of it. So it's a nice gesture for political appeal on the part of Russia, but doesn't really signify anything unusual.
Well, I mean, Putin was smart to do this, you would agree. So how does this enhance his image? I mean, what is it doing for him?
Well, Putin wants to show that Russia really is a global power, that it cooperates with countries all around the world. And of course, being in Latin America, a part of the world where the U.S. in 1823 declared a Monroe Doctrine to stop additional European colonization of the area, the Russians probably think that this is a sensitive area for us. But those days are long past. Monroe Doctrine is not U.S. policy, hasn't been for a long time. And it's in the interest of the entire international community for Russia to have global relations, just as it is for every other country in the world.
So a smart move for Putin and a much needed one.
Yes.
All righty. William Courtney, thank you so much for joining us on our broadcast. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.